What one would have thought was absolutely impossible takes place in Parashat Korach. The people rebel. There is rebellion against Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe, the one who brings the Torah down from heaven, Moshe, the one who took them out of Egypt, isn't good enough. And the rebellion begins in perhaps the most unlikely of places with his own cousin, a man named Korach. Let's make no mistake about it. Korach was an incredibly capable person, a brilliant person, a wealthy person, a powerful person. And as sometimes happens, people like this want even more power. Or sometimes what happens to people like this is the jealousy which they feel toward that person who's even more successful than them is not only debilitating, not only does it destroy himself, but he takes a whole bunch of people down with him. And these other people apparently are sincere. He gathers others and he tells them in the most popular type of way. He manipulates them. He tells them, all of you are holy. The commentaries understand all of you stood by Har Sinai. All of you stood at Mount Sinai. All of you witnessed God. All of you had prophetic ability. Why isn't that Moshe and his immediate family are the ones who have all the control and all the power for themselves? And Korach attacks them. Korach gets these people, who I say again are sincere, to challenge the authority of Moshe. Moshe responds and says, you want to be Kohanim? You think that Aaron is not the person who should be a Kohen? You want to take over? Sure. Why don't you take some incense and come and serve God with the incense? Now, anybody with a little sensitivity towards history knows that this plan should have stopped them in their tracks. Aaron's own sons, who served in the Mishkan, when they brought incense in, which they were not commanded to do, a fire came out of heaven and killed them. Which means Moshe is saying, this is absurd what you're doing. You're not rebelling against me. Ultimately, what they're doing is rebelling against God. And with God, the consequences are very high. You want to do again what Nadav and Avihu do? You want to come and serve in a way that you were not commanded to? You want to deal with those consequences? And I assume that Moshe believes that this will just stop them. But they proceed. They think they're holy. In the very beginning, we're told that Korach gathers together some people. We're told about Datan and Aviran, and at least according to the Midrashic perspective, these are the people who rebel at every single chance and every single opportunity in the desert. But there's another person who's mentioned at the beginning and then disappears. His name is On ben Peled. The Midrash and the Talmud, they ask, what happened to On? Where did On go along the way? Because we don't find him again. So we're told that On's wife saved him. On comes home and he tells his wife, one for all and all for one, and we're going to take over. And she looks at him and says, On, you're an idiot. She says, either Korach's going to be in charge or Moshe's in charge. Either way, you're not in charge. And if you rebel against Moshe, you're still not going to be in charge. And On says, what am I supposed to do? I said, I'm going to come. I'm going to join. So she says, I have an idea. She gives him a little drink. He falls asleep. And then says that she stands by the opening of her tent, and she takes off her head covering, and she starts to brush her hair. The people then come looking to collect him, and they come and they see a woman, a married woman's hair is uncovered. And in Judaism, that's considered to be something which is taboo. And these people look and they see this woman with her hair uncovered, and then they leave. Now that's remarkable, because that tells us these people are willing to rebel against Moshe Rabbeinu, to rebel against God, to rebel against Moshe, but they're not willing to see a woman's hair is uncovered. It tells us something about them. It tells us something about Korach. Korach convinced them that they're completely holy, and they feel like they're completely holy. They don't realize that Moshe is even holier. They don't realize that Moshe is working with God. And God forbid should they look at a married woman's hair which is uncovered. But they'll still rebel against Moshe. We are all holy, but it doesn't mean we're all equal. We all have an incredible amount of holiness, but that doesn't mean that we all should have the same job and the same tasks. God chose Moshe, and the irony, of course, is that Moshe didn't want to be chosen. Korach, on the other hand, wanted to be chosen, but God never chose him.